Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be creating officially that apron. This is what it's going to look like once you are done. It's going to be super easy to make. There's only one complicated little section that I thought was difficult, but I am very confident you'll be able to get through it, which is that cascade right there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The things you are going to need are 3 fat quarters, 1 yard of fabric. This one was pre-cut, purchased at Walmart. You will need a loop turner, tailor's chalk, seam gauge, fabric scissors, paper scissors, your snippers, thread, contrasting thread if needed, measuring tape or a ruler, and of course some pins. Go ahead and print out your sewing patterns 1 to 4 and let's get started. For the upper bodice, what you're going to need is two fat quarters. On the left hand side you have the selvage. Go ahead and fold it in half. Make sure 2 pieces are together and rotate it. That way it's hot dog but it's horizontal. Alright, put both of them together. Now I ended up cutting mine individually because originally I was just going to make one upper bodice, but I wanted to be lined, so it's better to just have 2. Cut both of them together, that way you're good to go. Anyway, so from the upper portion you're gonna mark 4 inches, right? And make sure to have 2 of the markings at 4 inches, that way you're able to mark a straight line. Rotate the ruler to the opposite side, and this time you're gonna mark 5 inches. Okay, now that you have those 2 markings, you can make a T mark, and that will give you the upper portion of your apron. From the bottom edge, you're going to mark 4 inches from that selvage edge. Use your pen or your tailor's chalk and line up those lines. Now that you have your marking, you are ready to cut. Make sure you are using your fabric scissors. Now, if you have 2 pieces, it's better that you pin them together. That way you can cut it and you make sure that it comes out evenly. But if you're cutting them individually, then, by all means, just do your thing. Just make sure that they are even. Go ahead and grab those remnants and trim off that curvature part. Don't throw it away. Keep it aside because we're going to need it. Open up the long piece. Open it up. That's going to be the upper edge. Put one on top of the other and cut out your patterns, which you should find below in the link. Using a pen, once you have it cut, of course, you're going to mark the curvature line of your sewing pattern. You're going to follow it, and then once you get to the midpoint, you're going to flip that pattern over to catch that overlap, make your first line, move the pattern over, and you're going to follow that line all the way through. Grab a pair of scissors and trim the edge, and then I would add pins in every curve, right? Add a pin in every curve just to keep it stable. This pattern piece is so intricate and it requires those pins, that way you could keep it in place. Do not cut anything yet. Just leave the pins there and move that pattern piece aside for now. Grab your other piece of small remnant, and this time you only need 1, and you are going to cut out the upper decorative pattern with that small little piece of remnant. I wanted to have the upper pocket in a contrasting color, so I got a 3rd fat quarter. You don't need a fat quarter. You can actually use the remnants from the other fabric for the bottom, but I wanted to use a contrasting color, so here we are. I did not iron it, but once you open it up, go ahead and grab your pocket pattern. All 4 pattern pieces will be in that PDF down below. and you can use that to cut out your piece. Make sure you pin it if necessary. I like to hold it in place because I actually cut those pattern pieces in cardstock from the printer. So they're pretty sturdy, and I pretty much just run the rotary blade right against it. So put your trust in me. We'll work it out, you'll see. Once you have that pattern piece cut, grab that previous pattern that we recently cut and just lay it right on top of it. Make sure that it's right sides together so that you are pinning on the wrong side. I like to have the pins hang off the edge because this allows me to simply pull it with my right hand as I am sewing and the fabric is going towards the machine. Alright, that's all pinned up. Sit it aside. Let's move on to the bottom. This fabric here is only 1 yard of fabric. It comes pre-cut. Purchased it from Walmart. If you're interested in the exact print, the link is down below for you to purchase. I'm not affiliated. Just wanted to provide the ones that I purchased. Now, once you open up the fabric, it's folded up in what I call a quad fold. I don't know if that's an actual thing, but that's what I called it. You have the fabric folded in half, and then it's folded onto itself again. While it's folded, go ahead and grab your ruler. Now, my ruler is 2 inches wide, so it works out perfectly. But if you do not have a ruler that is 2 inches wide, you'll have to make some markings, make a line so that you can cut it. You are going to need 2 of those pieces because this will be the waist strap that is wrapped around your waist in order for you to keep the apron on. Now that you have your waist straps cut, go ahead and grab some pins. You're going to put right sides together and you're going to pin it all the way down. You will repeat that for both straps. Now that you have your straps complete, you are ready to move on to the bottom of your apron. Fold your fabric in half. Your folded edge should be at the bottom, raw edge at the top. If you have a one-way fabric, make sure it's going in the direction that you want it to go. And you're going to fold your fabric so that it is at 11 1/4. The fat quarter I had was 22.25. So when you fold it, you should have a measurement of 22.25. No, 22.5. From there, you're going to need some more straps because now you need your shoulder straps. These straps need to be 4 inches wide. They need to be a little bit thicker. So measure 4 inches from the edge and then cut off. You do need 2 straps, so make sure you cut 2 of them out. And just like before, we are going to fold the raw edges right sides together so that we are pinning on the wrong side. For the last sewing pattern, go ahead and grab your remnant from the 1 yard. You're going to fold it in half. Make sure that your selvage edge is together. This should be just enough for the pocket to fit. Line up the folded edge of the pattern to the folded edge of the fabric. You're only going to need 1 cut for this. So just make sure that you have enough fabric. If you're going to use contrasting colors, you can cut it out in that one fabric. Now, as you can see, I did make my pocket a little bit deeper. I went ahead and I just made it the length of the paper without cutting off the bottom edge. But once you have it cut, you can set it aside in preparation of pinning. Now, bring all of your pinned items to your sewing machine and we are getting ready to sew. As you can see, the folded edge is where I start off so that you can backstitch and close that opening. This time your seam allowance needs to be at 1/4 of an inch. You're going to backstitch, go straight to that corner, sink that needle, pivot and turn. This is going to be our first one of the first things that we had learned from 3 weeks ago. If this is your first time sewing and you need some more practice before you dive into this, take a look at the previous videos and grab yourself some practice sheets so that you can practice. We are going to repeat the same process for the waist straps. You're going to start from the folded edge, backstitch, sew forward, sink your needle, pivot and turn at 1/4 of an inch, and you're going to sew all the way down. Just like before, make sure you repeat it for both straps. You are not sewing both of them together, okay? Because your fabric, one strap should be folded onto itself. Now that you are done with the strap, the opening should look a little something like this, nice and clean. The folded edge should look like a perfect pivoted corner, just like that. Now you are ready for the upper pocket. I grabbed the seam gauge just to make sure that the distancing from where the needle was to where I was lining up the seam allowance in the raw edges of the fabric was where I needed it to be. The seam allowance here is 1/2 inch. Make sure to backstitch and you're gonna sew it all the way across. Backstitch again to make sure that it's nice and tight and locked. You don't want it unraveling, and sit that aside for now. We are going to iron. Okay, now for the hard part, the cascades. Are you ready? You're gonna sink your needle just like before, and you're gonna make sure to just follow the curvature line that you created. Take your time on this. This is the hard part, okay? But if you take your time, it's gonna come out really neat and pretty, okay, in the end. So slow down, walk the needle when needed, and always make sure before you start moving your fabric, you sink your needle, because that anchors your garment in place so that it doesn't shift on you. You got this. If you were able to sew this completely, then congratulations. You have completed the hardest part of this apron creation, okay? Stick with me. We're gonna go far. Keep going. I'm super proud if you have completed it. And if you haven't, it's okay. Just try again. Take your time. You got this. Now, I did tie off the little cascade ends because I did not want them to unravel, even though I did backstitch there. So I would advise doing it just in case, because you don't want to accidentally, snag those threads. Next thing you know, the whole thing comes undone. So, in order for you to trim, what I thought was most efficient was to cut off the excess material. From there, cut all of your right curvatures first, and then flip it over so that you can cut all of the left. I did have to use my snippers in order for me to get really close to those indent corners. There were some threads that were just holding on, that would not let go. So I did that periodically. Don't pull on it, because that can cause the fibers to run, and then in the end it will come apart. If you accidentally clip your thread like I did here, just line it up to the previous stitch. Make sure you are a few stitches on top of the previous stitch line, and you're going to follow that curvature onto the other stitches where the stitch line is already. You want it to be able to lock with that previous stitch. Keep your threads long so that when you pull it off, you are able to tie those thread ends so that it doesn't unravel, like here. Now that you have fixed the small opening, you can rotate it inside out. I was using my finger to press the openings, and then once I have them where I feel like they're decent, just use an iron. Grab your iron to iron it open, or flat I should say. There are some areas where I had to go back with my snippers just to clip it a little bit so that I can get a little bit closer to the dip. But be careful when you are doing it, because sometimes you can cut your thread in your fabric and then it becomes a little bit more complicated. So there are quite a few complications with recording this apron. Oh my goodness, Murphy's Law. So it was split into 2 videos. Click the link for the next portion in order for you to complete your apron. See you on the next one.